So Bitcoin went up from a penny to $69,000, a 690 million% increase in about 12 years. And it tried to be a currency. It failed entirely to do that, but accidentally did something that's more valuable, which is store value. Store value is more valuable than payment network or cash. So for instance, a year or two ago, the statistics were that there was about $7.2 trillion in time deposits and only about $5 trillion of printed cash. And therefore, the market that Hex addresses, the time deposit market, is larger than the market that Bitcoin tried to address and failed. So we do payment better, we're more secure, our price performance is vastly superior. We're up 250-fold versus Bitcoin since January 5th of 2020. And this is after a big dip. It was 750-fold, but in the bear market, everything tends to drop a little bit. So for instance, Bitcoin dropped 75%, Ethereum dropped 85%, Hex dropped 95%. And when these things get back up, which one do you think is going to get back up the fastest and the farthest? So Hex's time deposit mechanic is Nobel Prize worthy, in my opinion, in that it's the first time people have ever locked up so much money for so long. The average stake length in Hex I used to brag about being 2.8 years, 3.8 years. Now I think it's 7 or 8 years now. When you have something that people buy, they don't sell, they lock it up for years and years and years, price tends to go up because it restricts supply and demand. The demand greatly exceeded the supply and still does, or it depends on what time frame you're looking at. But after a massive dip, a 10,000x increase, even if you dip 90%, it only cancels out 10x. So any 90%, if you look at Bitcoin, it's done a bunch of 85% dips, but it's still up 690 million% at the peak. And it's still up now, 2/3 of that or 1/3 of that or some very large number. And thus, if you look top down and just look at dips, you're crazy because the majority of the chart is bottom up. The majority of the chart is up. Only occasionally do we do these down things. And I think there's people that sold their Bitcoin at 50 cents instead of buying it. I think there's people that sold their Bitcoin at 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, and now the price is higher than that. So, things that have product market fit, I think dips are opportunities. You can't do anything with it. It's like useless. You can buy it, you can hold it. If you lock it up, you don't get any interest. The networks had 2 inflation bugs running could mint as many free coins as they wanted. One, it did happen. The second was responsibility disclosed before somebody used it. You can't put stable coins on it. You can't do on-chain exchange with it. You can't do time deposit. It just sits there. And it's very expensive and it blows up the environment. Hex doesn't do that. Hex has a very, very, very small environmental impact because we pack the value of Hex on top of blocks that are already being mined for the Ethereum network anyway. So we're just making the Ethereum network more efficient by packing more value in the blocks that are already being mined. And, Bitcoin, it uses so much electricity that they have to turn the miners off sometimes. So for instance, in Texas, they had to shut the miners off because people were going to have to otherwise turn off their air conditioners and turn off their housing electricity because it just wastes so much energy. And the more valuable the network gets, the more energy it has to waste to defend that value. Hex has none of these problems, which is why we outperform Bitcoin's price 250-fold. And it's due to less negative externalities and superior features. Now, Ethereum is way better than Bitcoin. It's just it scales differently. So demand on Ethereum has to do kind of with, for instance, Hex being on Ethereum helps Ethereum because we've on-ramped a lot of users to Ethereum. But now with Pulsechain, which is our improved version of Ethereum, we won't really need to focus on on-ramping Ethereum users any longer. Cryptocurrency was invented to get rid of counterparty risk. So what do people do? They're stupid, so they re-inject the counterparty risk. They give their coins to somebody else. So they try and pick up pennies in front of freight trains. Luna and Celsius come along and they say, hey, you can make yield, just give us all your coins. And the idiots, they go and give them all their coins. And then they don't get their coins back. They freeze withdrawals. Oh, it's over, sorry, can't get your money back, oopsie. Well, that's the opposite of why crypto exists. So in Hex, you hold your own keys, you mine your own yield, you mint your own yield. There's no middlemen, no one can stop you. You don't have to beg anyone. It's just awesome. This is what cryptocurrency was invented to do. It's put you in charge of your finances. And so if people would just listen to the good advice that I give, you wouldn't have to be part of one of these headlines that says, look at all the $1 million lost, hundreds of millions of dollars lost in this hack, that hack. this shutdown, this bankruptcy. I love that all these people have more followers than me. All the bankrupt guys, the losers that lost everyone's money, they have more followers than me. Called the top on the day, designed a 10,000x crypto, raised 27 million for charity, and danced better than them. Richard, but no one cares about that. Yes, apparently they do. The world's not fair. So I have to scream and yell and punch and push really hard to try and save these people, because otherwise they just don't hear the message. You know, basically, if you're smart and you work hard, you would think that you would be more wealthy over time. But there's ways to lose all your wealth quickly. Divorces is one, drunkenness and gambling is another, and leverage is just another form of gambling. So a gambling addiction and or a leverage addiction. So for instance, Michael Saylor took on leverage to buy Bitcoin. Oopsie. His company is, you know, $1 billion to the negative or more now on that little play. When have you ever told me to take out a loan? Or when have I ever told anyone to take out a loan to do something in crypto? Oh, never have. No reason to get shaken out. No reason to get scam wicked. Just wait, you know. The spot gains are enough. Like if you stake your hacks, you're making like an average of, I guess the average APY is 38% for all the stakers. But some of those guys got in earlier at better share prices than you. So, you know, now you're not going to make as good. Maybe, you know, maybe if you stake 1 year, you're looking at 15%. Maybe you stake like 3 or 5 years. I think if you stake like 6 or 7 years average, you're going to be at the 38% mark. You got to check it. You got to use a calculator to look at it. But even if you don't stake, you're still making mad gains in the price appreciation. When it goes up, it tends to go up after dips, and we're in a dip. You know, like it was 56 cents, and now it's like 5 cents, 6 cents, something like that. So I've advised a lot of friends that Hex is something they want to look at. So I've been a self-help author for much longer than people have known that I've been in crypto. You go back to my earliest videos, they're just self-help videos. Here's how you give a better apology. Here's how you have better relationships. Here's how you can be happier. Here's how you can drink less, gamble less, quit playing video games. Like all my videos are about those things. And I didn't get as much done trying to help people with the book as I did with the crypto. I know for a fact people have not killed themselves because they're focused on the future and they've got something good to look forward to because of the time lock, the time deposit. I was able to accidentally get better health outcomes for people through the cryptocurrency than I was when I directly tried to get them better health outcomes through the book. And so the cryptocurrency accidentally did more for people's mental health and well-being than the book that specifically was written to help these things. Right. And I didn't design Hex to solve people's mental health. I designed it to appreciate and value. And it just accidentally did wonderful things for people's internal game, or whatever you want to call it.